This video is basic instruction on how to log services after a client is enrolled. You may have a client who is enrolled in the program and then they receive additional service in the future from you during their stay in the program. After logging in here, you will be on the Home Workspace page, and to log a service, you need to go back to the client dashboard. To do so, click the Home Workspace button. A floating menu will appear. You have the Home Workspace and the Client Workspace, which will always show the most recent client viewed. Here, we will click the Clients box, and this will take us to Joseph Johnson's client dashboard. We see Joseph has two current enrollments, one in Investing in Futures Housing, which is our coordinated entry system, and one in Shelter Care Plus as they await a voucher. We want to provide services such as case management for Shelter Plus Care, and we need to log those services. To do so, from the client dashboard, go to the lower left and click on Services. This will also show a historical record of all services received under the various programs in which the client is enrolled. So, click Services, and this takes us to the Client Services screen. Here, we want to add a new service. We will click Add New. This takes us to the Service screen. Since you have to bill the service to the correct grant and tie it to the correct enrollment, always work from the top down. We know this will be for the Shelter Care Plus program, so we have to find the correct grant. If you were to work in a different order, such as bottom-up or random, this may cause a grant program mismatch. So, from the top down, first select your grant. In this case, we see all available grants for my organization, and we want to select one that is tied to Shelter Plus Care. We know in this instance it's a services grant, and then, once my grant is selected, we have to tie it to the correct enrollment. This client has two current open enrollments, and both are valid. We want to select the Shelter Plus Care as opposed to the coordinated entry. Here, we select Shelter Plus Care. We then want to log the service. Depending on the grant, a number of services may appear. In this instance, for training purposes, this grant has only one available service, Case and Care Management. Since this does not involve a landlord service, we can leave this blank. For some programs and grants, they may ask you for a begin date and an end date. In this instance, this is just the date that we provided the service, and that would be today, so that our begin date and end date match. Now, we want to log the correct amount of units of care or case management that we provided. Units may be items such as dollars, hours, minutes, or instances. In this case, we know that care and case management under this grant is measured in minutes. So we will say we provided 45 minutes of care and case management for the client. This may total $, it may not. Do not worry. Then we may want to leave a comment such as scheduled and met with client for budgeting. Once complete, we can click Save. This will take us back to the historical screen for client services, where we can see that on one day we provided some application fees, the next day we provided some care and case management. From the client dashboard, this view will look slightly different. To return to the client dashboard, on the lower right side, click Cancel. Your services have been saved, so clicking Cancel is fine. This takes us back to the client dashboard, and on the lower left side under Services, we see the new services that we have logged. Care and Case Management for 45 units, or in this case, 45 minutes. That concludes this video on basic training for logging a service for a client in an open enrollment.